Welcome back to some Cuphead for delicious last course. I'm dear darling and work up your appetite because it's a good day for a swell battle as we're on to, I'm going to assume this is the final battle of this game where we actually fight Salt Baker Shaker, whatever his name is, himself. What is this fire thing? It's like a fire chicken or something. Okay, the fact we actually managed to get that parrot off is incredible. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of a rather not safe for work movie. One about living food. If you know it, you know it. With all the food sort of being like horribly massacred in the background. Oh god, I just didn't jump high enough there. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Okay, so the dough attack is with cookies. It's very, very difficult to figure out how to jump properly. Or where you can even sort of jump in this game. I wonder if there's... Is there a pattern to have a fire attack? Is it just on a timer? Man, we did no damage. Okay, it's actually not as bad as I thought. I'm going to be honest. So it just always starts off with a random attack. One you won't know. The shook is actually quite easy to parry as long as the fire isn't jumping down, but there I just sort of didn't. And the attacks always overlap just a little bit. I assume they're going to start overlapping more and more. I wonder what your next phase is going to be. Do you think we can predict it? I'm going to assume we're going to have more food-related phases. Actually, yeah, the attacks are overlapping more and more. Does it... Oh, God. Does the fire chicken, does it always go down to the bottom? I don't know. I can't wait to see how difficult the rest of this battle gets. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, this first phase. It's basically, it's the first time, you know, I've started a boss fight, so maybe it means that we're getting better. We started a boss fight and I'm like, this looks manageable. It's not easy, mind you. But it's certainly manageable. I should try and pay attention to what the cookies are. There's camels. I think I saw a rabbit and an elephant. Ooh. I tried to double jump, which is not a thing. Unless you're playing Miss Chalice. It's a surprisingly long phase. It's basically all I've really noticed about this is how long it's going to take us to get through this phase, because we basically did no damage. This fire chicken kind of has the same energy as the thundercloud did in the angel and demon battle, didn't it? Just something always constantly there, and just being annoying. The lemon tarts, not the lemon tarts. What are you talking about? Those aren't lemons. The limes remind me. What is that? Is that a lime? Why is the lime the one that jumps the highest? The limes kind of remind me of the dog-on-dog fight. This is certainly a fight where I think the best weapon is probably one which just automatically fires. Like, there's one which twists upwards, right? That's probably a fantastic one of this one, because I feel like a lot of what you had to do kind of goes into dodging. If I dodged to the left, I would have survived that. But the lime is definitely the hardest one, I think, to dodge thus far. The cookies are not too bad. I was going to say they're the easiest, but now I think about it, I think the sugar cubes are probably the easiest. And that's not just because I immediately got hit by a cookie when I was going to say. And the strawberries are quite easy as well. I love how I'm just like, oh, this one's probably going to be the easiest, and I immediately get hit by it. Also, I really like how fluid that animation is at the beginning of him, like tightening his ascot. I don't really know what it is. Oh god. The strawberry one's sure to love to overlap. Also, that camel fell really fast, so I got kind of like overwhelmed. Because at times like these, you can really appreciate the animations in the game. In the middle of really difficult boss fights. I love the sound design as well, actually. I love how mystical the cookies sound. Chop, 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 chop. I'm just trying to see if there's any like cool details in the background. There's a bit of baking powder next to Miss Chalice. Because weirdly, this is sort of like you can sort of play with your peripheral vision. I think it's because everything's so bright compared to the table. Ooh. Just smoke dash. It's because at that point I was like, I think I'm too close to the thing to actually properly smoke dash. So if I like change my direction, I'm going to end up dashing into the thing. But instead I just like, you know, just got hit anyway, so. Really, if anything, this is sort of like a lesson in humility. Oh, okay, I have no idea how we didn't get hit there, but I'm going to take it. Oh, God. I don't think I've hit him with a super yet. I think if I actually hit him with the 2 supers, we probably would have done enough damage to see the next phase. I just want to see what next phase is. Because it's the final boss fight, you know. But obviously not going to do a fake out anymore, because we've already done that on the Ugly Buggy ones. That's that kind of bear mechanic. But it feels like oh, that was quite the close call about a fire chicken. We should definitely go for these parries on the sugar cubes, especially when there's not many other attacks going on, because they're surprisingly one of the easiest parries we've had in this game. What gets me every time is how fast that camel falls. Like, I feel like it falls faster than its arc jumps upwards. What? Okay, that's probably not the best place to actually super. It's quite the slog of a fight there, I'm not gonna lie. Kind of wish we did more damage, but you know, that's on. I've really got no one to blame but myself. Okay, so we should probably not super during. I don't know what attack's the best one to attack to super in. I guess a transition between. Oh my word! It's just how quickly they fall. It feels like it's like an unnatural arc, which actually would be a very interesting mechanic. To actually, oh my god, to have things which like feel like and look like they're going to follow physics, and then suddenly switch up and don't follow physics on you. It's like an arc, which seems like it's following gravity's like generic parabolic arc, ignoring air resistance, of course, like every physicist should do, and then falling down using that parabolic trajectory, and then just having it change on you ever so slightly by like making it like an x cubed. I guess mine. I guess the absolute version of x cubed sort of arc instead, or x to the 4 arc. Because then it's like it goes up. Your brain's already made a prediction of where it's going to go, and then it just gets absolutely changed on you. I seem very incapable of parrying in the DLC. Maybe I was just always bad at parrying. Honestly, who knows? I mean, that didn't really help my case out, did it? It was quite the slug of the first thing. I wonder how. I think this is gonna. I'll make a prediction now. I think this fight's gonna take us 2 episodes. Oh my god. It's quite the tough one. Quite the toughie, as they would say. So it's certainly we're sort of in it for the long haul, and the more sugar cubes he does, the better. Well, the fewer limes overlapping with other attacks, probably the better. I wonder if he does have attacks which are sort of like stolen from each boss. Like, does because we got each of these ingredients, right, from a different boss. It'd be cool if he stole one of their attacks. But we didn't get limes from the dogfight. So I was going to be like, the lime is quite reminiscent of a dogfight, but now I think about it, we got a pineapple, didn't we, from the dogfight? I remember because at the time I was like, I don't understand it, but it's because it was a grenade. That's why we got the pineapple. Surely. Wow, we used our level 5 super on you, and you still didn't, you know, take enough damage to die. I think that just goes to show how little damage I've been doing throughout this actual phase. It's just hard. I dashed the wrong way there, I'm going to be honest. I tried to change my trajectory, but I just couldn't. I should really just be standing under each side as he comes along, and then perhaps that's the way to do it, you know? Just stand directly underneath and fire upwards. I do like his quite menacing, psychotic even, grin. Certainly adds a lot to his villain arc character. I guess we were a little bit too trusting of him. Also, what's his... Why does he want to control the astral plane, you know? I don't know he had much of an interest in the sort of mystical other dimensions. Didn't know if that was much of a hobby for you. Mr. Salt Baker. Mr. Salt Shaker. I guess that's a pun, isn't it? Ooh. My power grows with much aplomb. Your end is here upon my palm. Palm. Plum. Is that how you say that word? Okay, so we got to the next phase, but immediately died. So let's try not doing that again, I think. I think it would be probably better to try and live. Sorry about that, a little bit of a pause. Not that I don't think this particular iteration of his fight was going particularly well. It's a bad thing with pausing in these sort of games. It's very, very difficult to get sort of back into the groove of things immediately after you pause, you know. You're sort of stuck doing, you're kind of like in the flow of things, and then, you know, once that flow's taken away, you know, the infamous words of Kanye West? You're gonna let me into my zone. Well, I guess more like the opposite of Kanye West, so Kanye East. Is that Kanye? Or was that Pitbull? Because I just remember a game where you played and it just kept continuously going, don't let me into my zone, don't let me into my zone. And you had to not let whoever it was into their zone. But why do I feel like it was a Pitbull game? Or maybe those are two different things. There's a Kanye West one and a Pitbull one. I don't know why enough I played them, I'm going to be honest, but you know, the early internet, it was quite a trip. Down memory lane. It's a trip down memory lane. I just couldn't figure out to dodge. Excuse me, why have you stopped attacking, Mr. Cuphead? I guess this elephant jumps the lowest because it's meant to be the heaviest, right? How high can an elephant jump? I have a house. Why? Because a house can't jump very high. Ha 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 ha. I mean, that's normally posed as a riddle rather than a joke. I don't know why I'm making such a mockery out of intellectual thought. Unlike me, one might say. I'd like it if his cookies, you know, died in fewer hits. I'm going to be honest. Why? It's very hard to tell in your peripheral what animal is what. I'm going to be honest. Sorry, another little pause. But I'm going to keep going. I do seem to immediately die a lot straight after a pause here. Apologies, another pause, you know. So, sometimes it just happens all the time during these mechanical games. Hold on, is my volume like really loud? It is incredibly loud for some reason. I was like, why is it so loud? I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, it happens quite a lot in these mechanical games, you know. It happens a lot in Death's Door. But, as the case may be, sometimes it is just a mechanical curse. So just like, you know, what's the best way to ruin words like what's the best way to ruin your mojo? This is how. And honestly, I don't. That was a terrible attempt. I'm gonna be honest. I still love that animation. That's sort of like a time where Ask always like, excuse me, I parried out. And if you say I didn't, well, technically I didn't. But you know, in my mind I parried it. You know, in my mind I pressed a button and it was amazing. In my mind I've already beaten the spot, so it's, you know, it's quite a shock from reality. But I'm still here fighting it. But you know, in your mind you can kind of do whatever you want. You can, you know, live out your wildest fantasies, you know, like having a house, a stable job, a loving family. I don't even know where this is going. That just got depressing really quickly. I do have all those things, so okay, not all those things, I don't have a house, but I don't own a house, let's not go that far, you know. I'm not like a millionaire or something, or however much money you need from that sort of thing right now. Let's not have a... I don't know why. Okay, you know what? These things are meant to, you know, let's have an escape from reality. Why am I delving into reality instead of embracing the fantastical like I usually do in a whimsical nature? Or for the sake of comedy, pshaw. I don't need humour to... well, to full stop. And I guess that's not really an end to that sentence. Like, if you had to give up one of your passions for the rest of your life, what are you going to give up? Happiness? That's probably quite a foolish one, I'd say, to give up. I think, you know what, I'd give up anger. I mean, I don't really get all that angry in the first place. So maybe that's a bit of a waste of a thing. But it's really, like, one of the more redundant emotions, isn't it? I suppose. I mean, I guess it's sort of like living in reality where if you give it up, you're not going to suffer any negative consequences for like not having a release or something which, for anything which sort of ends up frustrating you. But like obviously you can't give up happiness. Happiness is a really good one to have. Sadness, you know, believe it or not, I think sadness kind of lets you get in touch with your emotional side, you know. And it's one that allows you to be vulnerable in a sense, which is, you know, good with your friends and people you trust. You know, it's sort of like a mark of, you know, something which makes your happiness feel even brighter, I suppose, when it does come around. Excuse me, that was an incredible dodge with a swing of your knife. You know, what else is there? Fear? Fear might be one you'd want to give up, but fear's actually, you know, kind of like good for survival reasons. You know, the reason we feel fear in the first place is to be able to sort of just like, you know, if you feel fear and stuff. Oh my god, I'm doing so bad. It's because I'm trying to do an Animal Crossing level of commentary in a Cuphead game, which is, you know, not going to mix. The thing with fear is, like, you know, the reason we have fear in the first place is to make sure, you know, we survive, you know, when things are scary is because, you know, they're dangerous. So it's sort of like dissuade your brain from doing them. That's kind of why things are scary in the first. Oh my word, I hate... I don't hate these. Let's be real. I was going to be like, I hate these things. Then I thought about it and thought about, you know, put it into reality. At the end of the game, at the end of the day, it's just a game. Or, as I was about to say, at the end of the game, it's just a day. I'd say if you're, like, I don't know, playing Stardew Valley. No, hold on, is it? And I need a game which takes place in the course of one day. I was going to be like Majora's Mask, but that's like 3 days. I haven't even played that, so I don't know why that was the first thing that came to mind. But I guess it's sort of like influenced me with 3 days left. But anyway, you're not going to give up happiness. I feel like sadness is actually a bad choice. Fear is definitely a bad choice to give up. I don't know what else there is. You know, they've got 6 basic emotions or whatever. It's like happy, angry, sad, fear, shock or something, which is always surprising to me because I always thought, you know, shock and fear, I feel like they have quite a bit of overlap there. Hence why Pixar took them out for Inside Out. Because, you know, kind of redundant to have 2 very surprised-looking emotions. When one niche can follow the other. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like anger is just, you know, it hurts you, hurts everyone else around you in a very destructive way, not the same way that sadness does. So sadness certainly can hurt you, and let's be real. But I feel like giving it up is a mistake, you know. Because the thing is, at the end of the day, you probably have to have some sort of outlet for negative emotions and a way to process, right? And for a lot of people, that's anger. For a lot of people, that's sadness. The thing is, anger can tend to be quite destructive to you and people around you. At least sadness, you know, if it's destructive, it's kind of destructive for yourself. You're a lot more of an easier, less dangerous person you're supposed to manage to be able to sort of, you know, connect with for friends. I don't know. Does this make sense? I don't think this makes sense. I'm getting less convinced by my argument the more I say it, which is, you know, a kind of rarity for an opinion you're meant to sort of hold truly. Actually, no, it's not. You know what? But the more I think about it, the more about that does make sense. You know, if every opinion you hold gets stronger the more you think about it, then either you are literally the definition of what is right in this world, because you have apparently no faults or no bad opinions. But or that means you've sort of deluded yourself into thinking you are. And, you know, if you think about, you know, what humanity is like, I suppose you can make a more educated guess of which one is and which one isn't. Why is this? Why have I made this episode so randomly pessimistic for no reason? Let's try and get back on track onto something a bit more whimsically fun. Like the fact we're, you know, we've been betrayed by, like, our best friend, our absolute guide throughout this entire... Well, I say it was all about Soul Baker because I was meant to set up a joke being like, oh, you know, let's make it more lighthearted again, and then, you know, set up something, like, very annoyingly sad. But now I think about it, you know, Salt Baker, Salt Shaker Man, you've not really been much of a presence in this game apart from the intro. You kind of are the spurning factor in this game. But that's really about it. You don't really do much else. I'll be perfectly honest. I don't really have much of a way of connection for you. That's why I don't feel very betrayed by your betrayal. Criticising Cuphead's literary writing skills. An essay by someone with no writing experience. Okay, I'm not going to say no writing experience, but no, like, actual writing experience. You know, recreational, sure, you know. Have I written stuff recreationally? Yeah, I'm part of a writing group, you know. We write stories. Are they good? They're, like, you know, probably what you'd expect from someone who has not taken, like, a literary course and does not plan to, and has not studied it in their free time. Oh, my word. I feel like I'm getting worse and worse. Probably because I keep trying to talk instead of actually, like, focus on the game and actually beat this boss. But, you know, if you wanted to beat this boss, you'd probably just search, you know, Cuphead speedrun or something. And then you just click on the first result. It was probably set by someone with a name you don't recognise, but, you know, they've got the top result, the top score in every single category, because they're just back at every game. You'd search that. But no, you're here for my commentary. You're here for my wit, my humour, my impeccable sense of timing. Oh, so close to... I just want to properly actually see what the second phase is. You know, here I was being like, the first phase, it feels manageable. As it turns out, it's pretty not manageable. But yet again, I also did think it was about dog on dog fight, which had a remarkably difficult first phase. And what's even crazier is now I'm finding the cookie attack the hardest one to dodge, because it's so unpredictable. The limes are the limes are actually very predictable. You know, they go up, down, up, down, up, down, or down, up, down, up, down, down, up. Yeah, right, that's upset that. The sugar cubes are by far away the easiest still. And the nicest because you can parry them. But it's just the cookies. They're the cutest by far, but dodging them is a nightmare. And actually hitting this guy is also a bit of a nightmare, isn't it? Gosh. So why are these strawberries so golden? Are these strawberries from a boss? What bosses have we fought in this game? What was the first boss we fought? I'm just trying to think. Is a gnome, right? Okay, so that was sugar cubes. Okay, so those are the sugar cubes. Okay, so if it's sparkling, it's probably the things from the boss fight. So from the boss, we got sugar cubes from the gnomes. What's the second boss we fought? Was that the Aurora Borealis? Not Aurora Borealis, but the Ice King. I just remember that because that's what the episode is titled. It's like Aurora Borealis. Or Aurora Boreal over for you, or something. Oh, we haven't run into ice yet. I don't remember where the strawberries are from. It must have been the boss before dog on dog fight, but after what should we call it? But after the ice person. That was an aerial fight, wasn't it? What was it? No, the aerial fight was the cowgirl. It was a bit risky, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, come on. That must have been quite close to the second phase. I thought it was unbelievably close. What was that other... What other boss fight did we do? I really can't remember. What was the... No, maybe it was the dog on dog fight. The dog on dog fight was pineapple. The cowgirl was... a sausage? I don't really remember. You don't really use sausages in... a tart. So I guess that's kind of what the ingredients basically had to be things you would actually use in a tart. So maybe it was milk? Despite the fact that milk did not play a factor at all in the actual boss fight. Well, I guess pineapples didn't either in the dog on dog fight. I don't know why the dog on dog fight is like the only boss fight name I remember properly. You might be like, what about the Ugly Bugly Boys? Well, they're not actually called the Ugly Bugly Boys, despite the fact it's a top tier name. But that's something I stole them from a sketch from Auntie Donna. It's actually the roll call step. The roll call one. Or taking the register, as it might be called in Australian. No, okay. We're doing okay. That's how I feel about this run thus far. I'm not like, this is perfect, because I just took a bit of damage out for really no reason. I saw my demise coming out. I was just like, I couldn't figure out how to get out of that sticky situation. Man, I mean, we had technically gone to a second phase, but you know, we died immediately before it even really spawned. So I'm not really sure that counts. Gosh, I at least like to properly get to that second phase, you know? Give it a good old college try. Because we're on a really good pace of doing one boss each episode, somehow. But right now, you know, we're falling behind. I suppose if there's any boss to fall behind on, it would certainly be the final boss. That makes no sense. But even still, you know, oh my god, I don't even know why I jumped there. I just panicked. Even still, you know, it feels a little bit disheartening to give up that little tidbit of I tried a special to dodge the camel, but I didn't have a special up. It's a bit sad to, you know, lose that little fun fact, I suppose. Oh, I pressed a button. Well, I tried to press a button and I didn't. Hold a minute. Okay, wait, it's not a predetermined animal jumps at certain sites, because there we had elephants jumping very low and jumping very high. And I said two types of elephants, which there are, you know, there's like African and Indian elephants or something, but, you know, and I meant in cookies, it's not like that's something which is particularly determined quite often in like animal crackers. Oh, that's a cow. That's a lion. That's like a mid-tier elephant. That's a high elephant. Okay, so it's not actually the animals. Certain animals have different jumping heights. It's actually just certain cookies had different jumping heights. Not the best use of super, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it happens. It's probably why the cookies are the only thing you can actually destroy. Oh, so close. It's because they're a lot more unpredictable than the other attacks. I also didn't even realise that he prepares his first attack while the broadish, surely brewing noise is going on. So you can actually tell what the first attack is going to be. Ooh. Seems like strawberry isn't a main attack as well. Strawberry is just like a subsidiary attack which happens in between the other attacks. Okay, just time it right. Just time it right. You know, no need to go crazy. No need to lose yourself in the moment. You owned it. Something. You only got one shot. Do not miss this chance to blow. What? I blew just in the wrong direction. Oh god. What on earth? I don't like your fingers. Soul shaker, man. You wiggle them very menacingly. It's a sign for... well, it's just not good signs, shall we say. Never mind the fact that you seem to be dismembering, sentient food. Come on. You must almost be at the second phase now. Surely. Okay. Second phase. Let's see what's going on. In your hand, in your hands, in your fingers. Okay. Okay. Actually didn't seem that bad. It's such a long phase though. When power grows with much aplomb, your end is here up on my palm. Okay. Important thing to note there that we learned is that the first phase attacks still persist in the transition to the second phase. Even though we kind of learned that the first time, we got there. We learned it like truly persists even after he starts picking us up for a little bit. It's until his hands slam together. Oh my word! I tried to dodge with the invulnerability of the super, but you know it's not a reliable thing to rely on. In fact, you might say it's unreliable if you wanted to be a bit more succinct with a word verbiage, but I don't think that's something which is quite synonymous with me. I'm just trying to think what I saw in that second phase. So, again, it gave me sort of vibes of the dog on dog fight, where oh my word. You have like 4 small creatures around. Instead of them being the Alf boys, it's the salt shakers. Or the pepper lads. the pepper people, how about that? It's actually synonymous. Not synonymous, that's not a word. Alliterative. I was like, synonymous? That doesn't... well, I guess it is synonymous. Well, it's not quite synonymous, but it is alliterative. And we love the sound of words. I just hate the cookies because they distribute themselves in such a way that you can't dash through them. I hate them because they're making it difficult for me to use a thing which I'm using to trivialise every other boss fight. I don't know why I jumped into that. I'm just angry. I'm not actually that angry, I'm going to be honest. I'm playing it up for a bit. Which hopefully you know by now if you've watched any of my videos. You know. You know what my true frustration sounds like, and it just sounds defeated, if anything. A lot of my frustration kind of sounds sad. I'm really introspective sort of episode today. You didn't expect that from Cuphead of all places. Oh gosh. But yeah, anyway, it looks like there's like 4... I think they're pepper shakers. It makes sense because they were sneezing, right? About the place. I have no idea how we didn't take damage yet. That was honestly incredible. Okay, just scout. The pepper shakers which fired like projectiles. Pepper corns, you might say. If you wanted to, you know, actually ever think about it thematically. Also, the soundtrack's kind of banging, isn't it? It's so dramatic. Not about like saxophone or trumpet or whatever it is, which really adds a lot of character to this. Okay. Doi. Oh, okay. I accidentally fired it off in that direction, I'm going to be honest, but, you know, it worked. Surely you must be nearly at your second phase now. I feel like we've been at this for ages. I had to blink. Okay, there we go. Second phase, 2 health. So now we can give it a good old proper college try to see what's going on. Okay, so we attack a pepper, it comes back to attack. Maybe? What on earth is going on? Okay. Okay, noted. Don't stand in the corners. What? I thought it was going to attack me because it like swung around and like came at me, but it didn't. So, as it turns out, it's not too bad. I think it's doable. The second phase actually seems way easier than the first phase. I'm going to be perfectly honest, but maybe, you know, I'm coming in with a bit too much bravado. I think we might have him next time. I think if we get lucky, we might. I might take a full episode. I don't know. I don't know. I'm a bit curious to see what's up this ladder. I don't really like. Is this just what? Maybe it's like time trials or something. Like, what's this bonus thing? Which we've never even gone to. Hello. I guess you're the king. Hail, ye cups! I bid thee welcome to my floating palace. I am the one true king, the king of games. From afar, I have seen you battle with zeal and aplomb, and lo, I grant thee a place in my royal tourney. In these bouts, your weapons and charms shan't be of use. You'll have to find different means to be my best my champions. From victories to riches, now into the fray with haste. Oh, it's like an arena. Forsooth, my first champion awaits. I'd like to not do it yet, but okay, that's just good to know. So that is some sort of like bonus mode where we can't use charms and things. Speaking of charms, did we ever figure out what to do with that? Cursed relic, burden's host, jinxed curio that afflicts various statuses and ailments. I don't know if I should look up what that does or not, because I still haven't really figured out what that does. I haven't figured out what you do. Cacti Girls is like, I want to talk about whatever. Fable curse. A greater foe, more evil shall go. I don't know. Like, does that mean we have to defeat, like, Saltbaker? With it equipped? Maybe something like that? He's, like, the greatest foe here? I don't really know. Maybe, I might look at, okay, you know what? I'll look it up after I defeat Saltbaker, and then we'll see what I think about from that. But for now, I'm going to round off this episode here, so if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Cuphead, a delicious last course. I've been Dear Darling. Any likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Join me Dear Darling Discord, follow me on Twitter down below. Hope we see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.